What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Igniflare. Today I'm here to bring you guys a quick guide on spawn chaining. It's a version of barbarian chaining where instead of running around the map and killing barbarians that are already in clusters, you essentially create your own cluster and you find an area on the map that is very condensed and focuses all the barbarians into one little area, and then you kill them all in one cluster. So let's go over quickly why this works and how it works. First things first, spawn points in this game are very simple. If you go to your teleport item, any teleport item would work for this. It tells you what areas will not spawn anything. If you cannot teleport a city there, barbarians also cannot spawn there. So this section where my city is right now, if you look down, everywhere that is not red off, like cut off with the red, is where a city or a barbarian can spawn. Now, the other issue is range. If I look over to this section here, where my camera is now, no barbarians ever spawn here because it's a bit out of my range. They're all going to spawn right here or where my farm city is. And if you use a farm, your city or the marches themselves, you can block off spawn points as well. So now no barbarians are going to spawn where my 3 marches are or where my city is. Which basically means every single time I go in here and I spawn another march, they're all just going to be right here. So every barbarian is going to spawn into that cluster. And eventually you run into the little timer. Perfect, there you go. So now I have every barbarian from 12 to 1 spawned into 1 point. And I have a preset created with my Eltafled and my Kusunoki, about 30,000 troops, and you send it off onto the map. And now all you really have to do is find out where the 12 is and where the 11 is. They're basically on the exact same spot, which is kind of detrimental to this, but they're in a good cluster here, so it'll be fine. I'm just going to target the 12. And I'm going to go back and I'm just going to guide them along into the AoE and everything is going to be just fine. So we're going to start here. I'm going to pull it back. I want to go just a little bit back. You stop it so that you don't run out of aggro range and then it'll reset. You don't want that. So we're just going to wait for my AoE to go off. I'm going to hit every barb in this section. And once that happens, then I start moving again. All right. I think the 11 got hit into that AoE. I hope it did. Because if not, that's kind of terrible. So we'll see here. I'm just going to wait, let my AoE do some work until I get the 11 as my main focus. All right, good. Now I'm going to back up a little bit because the 11 is my main focus now and it's good. Let's see here. I'm just going to wait for it to get to me. And then my AoE is going to go off again and I'm going to catch the next few. All right, good. Let's see. What level is this one? That's a 9. It can survive for a little while too, so I can back up a bit. I can go here and I might be able to get that 5. Perfect. And that's basically the essence of it. So you just find the 12, you find the 11, and then you guide them along. I'm just going to bring my Eltafled back. And now, even though there was a couple that I didn't get, you don't run around and get them. You basically just start back at the beginning. And you go back to 12 and 11. And now there's a little kind of hidden thing here. I'll show you guys in a second. So at a certain point, the game actually doesn't want to spawn barbs for you anymore. You might think that the system's broken or it's not working or that it's nerfed or whatever. But there's a timer for the amount of barbs that you can spawn at once, and I think it's about 30 seconds or so per barbarian. So once you get to this point and you just can't spawn any more of them, don't freak out, don't worry. You just need to wait a little bit of time and then it'll start working again. So just do something else or focus on your city or whatever, and then it'll start working again after a little while. It might work already. See, there's the 9. And they'll just keep working. So you just keep doing that. Now, the one quick disclaimer I want to give you guys before I tell you the next part about spawn chaining is this did get nerfed, and there is a certain point in the kingdom in which this doesn't work anymore. I don't quote me on this, but I believe it's when level 13 barbarians spawn. So for me, that's in 8.5 days, or 8.5 hours rather. That's when I believe it no longer works, and at that point, the barbarians are just going to spawn on the map, and the system is no longer going to put them beside your city. So at that stage, you're no longer allowed to do spawn chaining or anything like that. So this only works for the beginning of a kingdom to about the first 8 or 9 days. And at that point, you have to do the regular type of barbarian chaining again, which isn't obviously as good because, this is insane value for only 40 AP than doing it around the map where you have to run and do all the other crap and everything. So there's that. It sucks, but it is what it is. Now, this isn't the only type of spawn chaining. There is one more type. The other type was made famous by 12-inch PvPenis. Go check out his channel if you haven't. You probably have. He's an insanely good YouTuber, and everything free to play has been like pioneered by him. He's insane. So yeah, check him out. He's the one that actually truly generated this idea. But his type of spawn chaining is actually a lot more condensed than what I'm doing here. Instead of using anything from like 12 all the way until 1s, you basically just use 12 and 11s and you spawn them both. And then you have a spot that's a bit more condensed than mine, because right now I have a lot of distance where they can spawn, which is fine for like open scale AoE. But if you want to do his style, you need to condense everything to like a really small area in front of your city. And then It's only 12s and 11s, and you basically spawn them. When the 11 dies, you spawn it again. The 12 dies, you spawn it again, and you just keep doing that over and over again. And it depends how long your march survives. You keep going until your march dies, and usually you can get over 10 or 11 in one chain, very simple, and you continuously do that. And you also play with the respawn timer because you don't need to spawn 12 at a time. You only have to spawn like 2. So the respawn timer doesn't actually screw you up that much. Anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this will give you guys a quick little edge at the beginning of a kingdom and to help you really advance your accounts at the beginning. It's very valuable. And if you learned something cool, I appreciate you coming by, and I hope you guys are here for the next one. Take care.